And welcome to Blockbuster Bums. Kick back your recliner, crack open a beer, and let's talk movies. And today, we'll be talking about The Last Patrol, Episode 8 of Band of Brothers. So we continue our journey. We're closing in on the end, guys. Closing in on the end.
Yeah.
All four of us regulars for Band of Brothers is back. So I think I don't have anything else to go over, so let's get started. Tom, what did you think of your rewatch of Episode 8?
I liked episode 8 because I feel like it was the other side of episode 7 to where we kind of see like the aftermath of Bastogne and the in between of like you said like what happens with the guys between then and then like the next kind of little firefights they get into. But I did think that Peacock or like is that who we're following here?
Webster.
Webster, yeah, like I did like that was I liked his perspective in that he wasn't at Bastogne with them, and I just think it is a different take, but I do feel bad for Webster throughout the whole thing, to be honest with you.
Okay. AJ, what were your thoughts?
I like this episode. It definitely is kind of decreases the pace from last episode. It doesn't hit as hard.
For sure.
But not to get into it, but the next episode hits pretty hard, so it is like a nice little break. I think it's good.
Mm-hmm. Ray, what were your thoughts, buddy?
I mean, it was an okay episode. It was a nice way to integrate all the characters. I mean, or get them ready for the final two episodes because that's what we got left, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nice way to like AJ was saying, slow it down, pace it in, get about integrated characterization a little bit. Give everybody ready to go for the last two because I'm sure they're gonna be bangers. I have no idea, but I'm sure it's gonna be going down. But yeah, it's a nice change. And then we'll get into Webster here in a little bit.
Yeah, I don't mean this in a terrible way, in a bad way. I don't think it's a terrible episode, but it's probably my least favorite episode. Not a lot happens, and it kind of sucks to see all these characters that we've grown to love and gone on this journey of and showed just how much badasses they are.
Yeah.
But in this episode, you get to see how broken they are, and it's just a bummer.
Yeah.
I mean, and I do agree with Tom. Having Webster come back, not come in as a brand new person, come back, but also be treated the way he's treated because he's coming back is an interesting viewpoint to come at it with. So it can be an interesting episode, but it's also a hard episode at times.
Yeah.
And that's just what I have written down as my first note for the episode is Easy Company's broken. Like.
Well, I mean, like I said, like we just talked about, like they had 120 something and all that, and it got shaved down to 64 or whatever.
145 to 63.
Yeah, see, so like I mean, I don't know, like yeah, at least demoralized. Like it's one of those things to where like I think because you kind of hear I don't know if it was in the last episode or in this one and all that they talk like in terms of like whoever's narrating something along the lines of like you always think you're going home or you always imagine you're going home and stuff like that whenever he was like calling back to like the deaths or the injured people and all that. I think what this episode really shows is like I don't necessarily think it's they're broken, is that I think we're just seeing that they are human.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's one of those things that yeah, this isn't like an action movie and everything. Even though
Yeah.
we see Spears like Iron Man running through shit and everything and whatnot. It's like I said, these are real stories of real people. And even in the beginning of this episode, like that shoot, I don't know which one he is, but one of the old boys like he started even tearing up, like talking about it, like it's like you never forget, like you just never do. Like I mean, like this all really did happen. I think even when you see like was it like Malarkey?
The redhead.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like even when you see like just his state, the way he's in, like having lost so many friends around him and everything, and he's still there, still leading, but like you said, at this point you can see he's really jaded.
For sure.
To where like you see like at this point like they don't even really flinch when like shells hit buildings and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's one of those things where it's almost like a weird like like I said, you're almost like too relaxed for that environment and everything, just like laissez-faire.
Well, I think what
Complacency.
I
Yeah,
think
but
what
it's like not even on purpose. It's out of
No, it's just
it's out
yeah.
of like it's out of the negative. Like you're not complacent because it's like you're happy. You're complacent because, like I said, you just seen like half your friends gone that you were there with for 2 years, and like people are coming and going. It's like you're still doing this.
Yeah, you're
Like
almost like
it's a
what could get
drudge.
worse?
Yeah, it's like you've been constantly battling for 2 years doing this. Like just wet, cold firefights. Like just, I mean, I could see how after a while, yeah, like
Well, I
it's just
mean,
gonna
we
show
can
'em.
we can even sling it all the way back to where Spears was talking to that one kid where he gets taken out because he's a point man going to that farmhouse that episode,
Yeah,
and he was talking to him about
Blythe.
Blythe about you have to think about uh,
You're already dead.
yeah, you're already dead.
Yeah.
yeah,
No, I think the something that really kind of drives Tom's point home is when the Germans start shooting artillery in, and they all go running down in the basement. But then all of them, except for Webster and Jones, are just rolling around the ground laughing. They're just like cracking up, like just losing it, but they're laughing.
Well, plus those were the only two that was under the table.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, the same way, like, yeah, I think it was Webster. Like, he's the only one, or no, it was the West Point guy. I think.
Yeah,
No,
Jones,
It
yeah.
was what? Like they dove onto the ground. It was like, oh, it was Webster. I think.
Well, Webster, when he's talking to Malarkey, he dives on the ground.
Yeah, because everybody
Yeah.
else was ducks their head. Like Webster is like, oh, like just jabs at him and like tells him where to go. Like,
Well, it's weird because like you see these guys just walk down the street or the sidewalk to go to a building,
yeah,
and you see Webster and Jones to go to a building or like ducking behind sandbags and running here and running there and doing all this
Yeah.
stuff. But then, so you're like, man, these guys are kind of acting like pussies compared to the rest of them. But at the same time, one of the guys that just walks from building to building gets blown up
Yeah,
a few minutes later, and you're like, well,
holding a
Well,
sack of
and-
potatoes.
but
Yeah.
and that's what it was. Where like, yeah, he even talks about that as like some people it's because they were trying to go from foxhole to foxhole or something like that, or like there's like a tactical purpose and everything for the movement. Here it was like you said, he was just, and he got away with it earlier, like as we
Yeah.
seen him and everything. This was another run for more. Like I don't know. Like I said, I think you just lived in that environment for so long. Like Ray said, there's a weird complacency to it. Like you don't think it'll be you, I think, is what the mindset turns into.
And I really think you see such a huge contrast when Lieutenant Jones, the new guy, and Malarkey are having the conversation because, like, essentially he's taking over command from Malarkey, so Malarkey's giving him all the information. And that conversation is so weird because the questions, first off, you hear, like, Jones ask certain questions, and Malarkey's looking at him like, who gives a shit, man? And then other times where he's like, or when he says, "Well, we dodged some mortars on the way in," and Mark goes, "Hmm," and like, just, yeah, and like I'm like, dude, like, I mean, obviously Jones doesn't know, and it's not really Jones's fault, but like, all I can picture in my head is Malarkey just came from the artillery barrages that we just talked about in the last episode,
Well, like I said,
like,
he just graduated D-Day.
or no, Battle of the Bulge,
Yeah,
or
Jones
Jones
graduated
graduated
on
West
D-Day.
oh,
Point,
Jones,
yeah.
yeah,
he
graduated
graduated
West
on
Point
D-Day.
D-Day. Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like all this is new to him. So yeah, it's like the fact of like nothing. Like
Yeah, he's there to get battle experience so he can move up. I mean, that's what he's there for. By the way, talking about Lieutenant Jones, Lieutenant Jones is not welcome very well by anybody, not just even by the other officers. Like the other officers,
Well, I mean, do you blame him?
I'm not saying they're saying I'm blaming him, but I mean like he comes in and I mean he kind of gets it worse than Webster.
Well, I mean, you had all these
Well, but he's the new guy, he should.
lieutenants, and
Yeah.
here we go with this
yeah, I
one.
was like, I'm not. Yeah, like. Yeah, I'm not even. Yeah, like you have to. Yeah, you're the new guy. Like, if anything, I at least respected him because he kept trying repeatedly to volunteer
Yeah.
to go on that night mission, and then it came to a point where I was like, pretty much like, who was it, Webster? Like, talked to him. Somebody talked to him,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and it's like, hey, Malarkey may not be up for it. If you talk to him, you may be able to get there.
Yeah.
and you may be able to like lead the mission. Like he didn't get to lead it, but he got to go on it at least.
He did get to go on it. He was a little disappointed about that, but I mean, Spears and Winters are 100% correct on this. Like, we can't have you lead this mission.
Oh no, yeah,
Like, it's your first day.
That's totally
Like-
the right call. But I'm saying at least he's like I'll say he wasn't doing a Dixon or whatever his name is
Yeah.
and everything.
Dyke.
Dyke. He wasn't trying to like fall back and run. He's like, no, I at least like I've heard a lot of people already like this is happening tonight. I got here today. Like I want to volunteer for this mission that apparently only 15 of you want to go on, and apparently nobody really wants to do. Like
Well, 15 people are going to go on it. None of them
Nobody
want to
wants
go
to,
on it.
yeah,
Yeah.
but once again, but he's volunteering. Like it's like
Him and the male guy.
Hmm.
Him and the male guy.
and Webster's German's good enough. He's going.
The other part about it is they get to take showers. So who knows the last time they had a shower? But we know they didn't get a shower the whole time they were in Bastogne. So can you imagine not showering for months?
I mean, at least you know. At least
we used to pack baby wipes, and that's
I think it's
field
okay
shower
in
right there.
Bastogne because you're not gonna sweat.
You're probably right.
I guess to be honest, you're not breaking a sweat and everything for the last couple months in a
No, but I
foxhole.
mean,
Cold
you
in-
take enough shit, that booty's gonna be smelling.
I mean, yeah, but I'm just saying. At least you're not gonna. At least they'll be like, won't be as bad.
Yeah. I mean, maybe, but
It's still
I-
pretty bad.
Oh yeah, like
but they really make the showers out to be like these guys are almost just like overwhelmed by the fact they get to take a shower. But then, they're kind of like looking at Webster and Jones, like, and they're like, we don't need showers. And they like kind of walk away. Which I think was the right move.
Yeah.
yeah.
Was totally the right move because I think the other guys were a little offended. But I also kind of feel like, hey, Easy Company, like you don't know the next time you're going to be able to shower. Why not let these guys shower? You know what I mean? I realize there's some hard feelings or whatever, but like,
Yeah.
no,
Well, they're pretty
that's-
clean.
Yeah, that's one of the low hanging things to where it's like, no, this won't affect your ability to fight. Like, fuck you, you're not getting a shower.
Yeah.
Like, no.
You've been in a nice warm hospital for
Yeah,
4
you're-
months. You ain't been in no
you're
foxhole,
getting
bro.
hazed with the new guy. Like, no shower for you.
so we're talking about it. They're going to run a 15-man mission across the river, into another town. I mean, they're looking at each other directly across the river, staring at each other. They were going to run a 15-man mission over there to not kill the Germans, but to take them hostage.
Yep.
That is the goal of this mission. And there's a lot of, let's say, politics surrounding who's going on the mission. Nobody, except for Jones and the male guy, want to go. Nobody wants to lead it. Nobody wants to go on it, except for those two guys. And they won't let Jones go for the longest time. They're like, no, no, no. The male guy does get permission immediately.
Because he hadn't seen anything or do it. Like I said, it's a good plight. It was a good speech. Like, we're like, yeah,
Yeah.
like, I like it. Go do it. Like,
Right. And but then like delivering the news of who was going was like delivering like a death paper to somebody, like, oh, your mom died or something. Like these guys were so depressed they had to go.
Well, they're almost out.
Hmm.
You know?
Well, they don't know it at this point.
Oh, they don't?
No.
Oh.
yeah.
They don't know that they're leaving at this point. This is the first
No, I
mission.
mean like the war. It's like it's
Oh, the
pretty-
war is wrapping
yeah.
up a little bit, yeah. But these guys are super, super irritated. And then, I don't know why it happens, but then the plan ends up changing. And then all of 2nd Platoon has to go. So then they're like, why the fuck does all of 2nd Platoon have to go? And only 2 people from 3rd Platoon and nobody from 1st Platoon. They're like, why the fuck is this happening to us? And our sergeant is leading it. Like, and then all these hard feelings come up, and guys are pissed, and guys are... Malarkey doesn't come across pissed. Malarkey just comes across worn out.
Hmm.
Yeah.
he doesn't get pissed. He doesn't get upset. At least he doesn't show it. It's just more of like, I'm worn out. I don't like this, but whatever. Like, we're gonna do what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
And then he does end up he does end up getting to not go, but his platoon has to go because Martin has to go in his place. And you end up with this 15-man team and these little rubber rafts, and immediately the last one to go, they have 4 of them. The 4th one, the last one in line, flips over.
And that was a Cobb boat, wasn't it?
It's Cobb,
was.
yes.
Fucking idiot.
Yes, it's Cobb's boat. What a fucking dickhead. Cobb's boat flips over. I don't know who's in it with them. I'm not sure. It's in the dark. They're in the water.
Couple of angry motherfuckers
Oh,
Yeah,
he's so
yes,
pissed,
yes.
yeah.
in that cold ass water.
So now they're down to 12 men immediately, and they're down a boat.
I was immediately worried
Yeah.
about sniper fire. As soon as somebody's flailing and screaming around, I can't swim, like, oh, clearly somebody's in the water. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I would like. If I was in one of the other 2 rafts, like, just put his head under now. Like, shut him up. Like,
But then, like, I'm thinking, how is this gonna work? Like, you had a plan to go in 15. Now you're going in with 12, which is a problem, but it's not the end of the world. But now you're down a boat, and you're supposed to be bringing extra people back. So, like, this now the problems are starting to mount. But obviously, Martin and the guys don't even hesitate; they just go.
Yeah, they've been through these kind of problems before.
And so they go up, they sneak through the snow, cut the wires, crawl out, here. Martin divides them. I mean, Martin does it like a pro. Go here. Well, this is where, things kind of go haywire. Martin shoots a grenade through the window, and then Jackson throws a grenade through the window, and then immediately grabs the door and throws it open, and his own grenade goes off and, shrapnels the shit out of him, essentially.
Yeah.
basically hits him in the neck.
And so now things are even worse. So now we're down men, we're down a boat, and now we have a severely wounded man of our own
Friendly fire.
that we have to carry out of here. And
they made the Germans do it.
no, the Germans
The
had to carry
Germans-
their own
Yeah,
wounded
their own
man.
wounded guy.
Oh.
Ramirez had to carry Jackson.
Oh, okay. I thought they.
So
I
then
thought
Jack-
they left the wounded German.
And the male guy,
Riverbank.
had
Oh,
to
okay.
carry Ramirez's rifle. So now you have a guy running with 2 rifles, bawling the whole time because he's never seen battle, and he was the one that was tasked to take care of Jackson and couldn't handle it, and he got blood on his hand and started freaking out.
Oh, yeah.
So they're trying to get back. Well, of course, then you've got Liebgott and some other guys with heavy machine guns across the river ready to
Yeah.
open up.
Which it's like blowing a whistle while like mortar rounds and everything. I was like, that poor guy's like, just blow the whistle.
Whistle while I work.
Well, technically, though, like Liebgott's getting impatient, going, blow the whistle, blow the whistle. But when they were given their command from Spears said, don't blow the whistle till you're back in the boat.
Mm-hmm.
And he blew the whistle well
Way
before they
before.
got
Oh,
to the
yeah.
boat.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But he wanted that cover fire. Like, it's
Oh,
like,
I would have
like,
too. I mean,
yeah.
but then my thing was, though, those tracers from their own men were going right over top of their heads as they were coming back in the boats. Like,
Essentially
not very...
crossfire,
Yeah, like, I was just like, man, they're going to shoot their own men.
Yeah.
It was real close.
We just hope it's a headshot. Like, just,
But then,
just make it quick. Like,
they end up with these German soldiers. They have the wounded man. Well, then who runs down on the beach to pull the wounded man out of the boat? Picante. Picante, who is wounded himself. I guess we left that out earlier. He shows up he breaks out of the hospital after 3 days, and shows up in Haggleton, or where are they at? Hagenau, thank you. Shows up in Hagenau, and we see him show up, and then he's the one running down the beach, pulling the wounded man out of the boat. Like, seriously, we don't have an able-bodied man to come help with the wounded? Like,
Right.
what?
There's plenty of people sitting around when they bust in the building. Like,
Yes, plenty of people sitting around bullshitting. And they bust in the building, throw Jackson on the table. Very similar to the scene, Crossroads episode, when
Yeah.
Winter's episode where they bust in and throw him on the table and everybody's trying to help work on him, and everything. I think that was Mo who got hit in that episode. But they throw him up on the table. But here's my thing: if we only have one mission going on, one, why were there not medics at the ready for their return?
That's a good question.
They had to go find medics, and by the time the medic gets there, it's pretty much over. He's dead.
Well, I would wonder how many people were even, just because of the scale of it and what they were doing, like how many people even just didn't know it was happening. Probably.
I'm sure there was some of that, but I just feel like they weren't prepared.
Oh no, yeah, like I said, the fact they didn't know where one was quick and ready, I guess, like you said,
I mean-
or even maybe be ready to have one on hand, but
Yeah, you think there would be a team waiting on the friendly side of the river.
but
Yes.
it just sounds like they just didn't.
Well, like when I saw Picante coming down the beach, at first I just assumed it was Doc, and then I was like, then they came into the light, and I was like, oh, that's Picante, and I was like, where the hell's Doc? Well, then they had to go find Doc. Like Martin, they get him on the table. They're starting with, and Martin's like, I gotta leave. I gotta go find a medic.
Yeah.
And then he leaves Jones in charge. Well, here's one thing. Jones shows his mettle in this scene. I feel like this was a good scene for Jones.
Yeah.
Because at first you think he's like overwhelmed, but then he like snaps out of it and starts doing what he needs to do. Like he realizes Webster has the wounded guy under control and is doing his thing. Well, then the male guy completely loses it. And is like, and pulls out his pistol and is saying he's going to kill the POWs, and so then he ends up taking the pistol from the guy and throwing him down, and then he has to grab Popeye because Popeye is like hitting one of them, and throws Popeye out of there, and then is like, guys, if you kill him, we have to go back and get more.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here?
Well, but once again, that's why I like that we followed him and
Webster
because. Once again, the other guys, one is like the mailman. It's just like I said, you just were in your first firefight and shit. It's all like I said. It's like we talked about earlier. First time adrenaline and everything. He probably just has seen red and wants to kill these guys. The other guys, it's more going to be about revenge. Like I said, you just seen like half of everybody you knew last 2 years go in the last battle, and here you have a couple Germans where you could just beat the fuck out of them if you wanted to. But you need these guys who are not attached to those guys that have died to be like, hey, like you said, like there's a utility and purpose to this mission. Like we can't go back and get more alive. Like,
So what was the point of that little bomb they had?
It blew the building up.
yeah,
Because it was like a headquarters, outpost or
Oh.
something.
yeah,
But it doesn't blow it up till the next day.
Yeah.
there's a
They-
timer on.
Webster hid it behind something so that they wouldn't.
Right,
find
I
it.
seen that, but I was
Yeah.
like, it wasn't a very big explosion. Because
wasn't.
didn't we see it?
Yeah, we saw it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know why they had to wait. Why couldn't just blow it up when they left? Like, why did they have to wait till the next day?
Maybe
They
they
were
try to
probably- I think
catch
they
a
were-
little
they were
mouse
probably
trap.
hoping they would catch more Germans in there. I assume.
Yeah, little mouse trap.
Like, yeah, because like I said, the next day, like, because they obviously like, hey, Americans were over here. We got in a firefight with them last night. Where did they hit? And you probably go and inspect it and everything, and so many hours afterwards. So yeah, like you said, it's basically like, especially with it hidden, you want them in there not
Yeah.
knowing.
So, but anyway, they do end up with 2 prisoners of war. They had 3, but they left the wounded guy on the beach on the other side.
Which I don't know. I thought it was one of those, like, that was one of those things where I think if I had been over there for a couple of years, I think I would have stood out there and just kind of enjoyed the enemy writhing in pain. Like, because the old boy was like, I can't hear it anymore, and all that complaining about it. It's like, no, I'm okay. I'm okay with one of their own suffering there on the riverbank. Like,
No, that is the one time in this whole show so far that I feel like I could understand Cobb when he was like, fuck his suffering.
Yeah.
Like, I think a lot of people would have been there at
like I
that
said,
point.
I would have been with Cobb. We're like, no, I'm gonna just sit here and I'm just gonna listen to it. I'm like, no, it's music to my ears. That's not one of our own. Like,
I mean, like we said, these guys have a lot of issues coming out of Bastogne. And I don't think they would have had a lot of sympathy for enemy combatants at this point. I just don't think
Not a
they would
chance,
have.
yeah.
well, why? Well, yeah, no. Like I said, 2 years nonstop killing. Like, yeah, like No, sympathy went bye-bye a long time
Yeah.
ago. Like, along with your empathy. Like,
But then here's where things
this isn't World War One where we're sharing Christmas Eve together. Like,
Oh god.
like
get a little bit more sideways when immediately the next morning Nixon is telling Winters, Sink wants you to go back tonight. And you see Winters and Spears are just deflated. Like, Nixon seems to have it together more than them. I think Nixon's a little bit more removed
Yeah.
from the men and from the battle stuff. So like I don't think he is as quite as attached and quite as frustrated by it as they are. But they're so deflated by it. And then when Picante tells the men that we have to go back again tonight, nobody talks. They all just like sit down and like just stare at the floor or the ceiling or whatever, and like everybody's like, seriously, like we gotta go back again. And that again like goes back to that somber tone of like it. Even hearing they have to go fight is just depresses the shit out of all of them.
Well, and that's even after they found out the Germans were talking. So now we gotta get more Germans to talk to. I mean, what
Right.
else? What else are these guys gonna tell?
Well,
us?
even when Winters asked Nixon, for what purpose, Nixon says because Sink has got him bragging rights by you
Yeah.
guys getting the last two, so he wants more.
Yeah. See, that's bullshit.
I mean, it's just it's what you deal with in businesses. It's bureaucracy. It's just bullshit to make higher ups look good.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
I mean
yeah.
that's all it is. That's what it's really what it is.
Oh yeah.
Um, the second mission, we'll talk more about it later, but it goes off the way it's supposed to. And then it's more of like, I don't know how you want to describe it. It's more of like they give you a ton of information and almost like a montages like next few minutes. They show you the promotion of a couple people. One thing that does happen that AJ and I said I think 2 weeks ago doesn't happen, so we were wrong. AJ is Welsh returns.
Yeah, I caught that.
So he walks into headquarters and they're like, "Oh, where you been? Like, oh, we thought you were gonna baby that scratch for another 4 months, or whatever he says. I can't remember what he says exactly, but something along those lines. So they do have an actual decent commanding officer again, another decent commanding officer back in Welsh. And then they are told that they are being pulled off the line,
Yeah.
which obviously everybody's pretty fucking happy about. And then you get you get like Webster. I don't know if we've said it yet, but Webster is narrating this episode. And you get like Webster giving his long like speech there at the end. But right before that, you get the Easy Company guys in trucks going down the road, and I can't remember who they're driving by.
First company.
First Company, yeah, they're driving by First Company. Who are the guys that shit in their foxholes in the last episode?
I called him. I was like, "That's those sons of bitches." Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and they're like talking shit to each other, and then
Enjoy your walk.
Yeah, Bulls is like, enjoy your walk, fellas, as they're driving away in trucks. It's kind of a nice ending to the ending is like you see a lot of people smiling, you see a lot of people shaking hands and patting backs and giving hugs. You see a lot of relief on the soldiers' faces. They're getting a ride out of there. They know they're getting pulled off the line. Like it's almost like a little bit of a reprieve from what we've dealt with the entire episode of just depression and hard feelings and almost like hatred, and then there at the very end, like the last 5 minutes of the episode, you get some like relief from that.
Yeah.
Well, does anybody have anything else they want to go over that's not specific to the characters?
I don't think so.
Well, I just got some interesting facts while we get the board pulled up. I want to ask you all a question before I answer this. What soldier do you think spent the most time on the front line?
Total time, like total.
Total time.
Like for the entire war, or
I
best
assume.
known,
I
or-
assume so. Doesn't say specifically. It just said this person spent more time on the front line than any person in Easy.
I'm gonna go malarkey.
that was my thought. Malarkey or maybe Shifty.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say Lipton.
It's malarkey.
Hmm.
It is malarkey. Which when you stop and think about it, it does start to make a little sense. First off, Muck tells you in the last episode that only 2 of them have not been wounded, and he's one of them.
Yeah, when they're going down the line, he's like, yeah,
Mhm.
telling everybody like,
Yeah, so he's not been wounded and sent to the hospital.
Right.
So that obviously helps. And then, beyond that, like, a couple of them been promoted and taken off the line, things like that. And when you start narrowing all down, and of course, some of them die.
yeah. That's what I was thinking. Like, well, that's why I thought like Powers was a good second, is
Yeah.
because I was thinking, it's like, man, who has been there the whole time, and like you said, not promoted, like you're stuck in the front and all, like.
Don't be biased, Tom.
Yeah.
Just because his name's Powers.
Hey, I'm blind and everything. I'm glad somebody in there has a good. Like,
You want to hear something? You want to hear something crazy about Malarkey though? Obviously, Malarkey made it to be an easy company with an elite fighting force. He makes it through the war, and does all these great things. He first applied to the Marines and they didn't accept him. Then he applied to the Navy and they didn't accept him. And then he applied to the paratroopers and they took him.
Huh. Okay.
yeah, once again, they just need someone who's willing to jump out of a perfectly good plane. Like, just-
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when, yeah, I said his name last episode. Now I can't think of it. Is it Scott Grimes?
I think so. Yeah.
That plays Malarkey. When he was cast as Malarkey, the real Malarkey's children were pissed off because he wasn't good looking enough.
Yeah.
that's funny.
By the way, Malarkey is also one of the old men that appears at the beginning of episodes.
Okay.
He's the one that has the big glasses.
That's what I.
Are you
That's
talking about
so,
the thick frames? 'Cause
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. Bushy eyebrows.
Mm-hmm.
That's 'cause they all have big glasses.
I think
but
I don't
it's
know if
like-
it's this episode or the last episode. He talks quite a bit and he gets real choked up and
Yeah,
has to
it
stop.
was-
That's him.
It
Yeah.
was this one and everything. Yeah. Because
that's what I kind of hated about the beginning interviews is that they don't put the names.
They do in the last episode.
Yeah.
Oh, they do at the end.
Mhm.
Oh.
They do at the end.
But I agree with that.
Because I
There's
just
no
remember-
reason to.
Yeah.
Today,
Because I mean, I can kind of tell like winners.
Yeah, you know who Winners is.
Winners.
They make
he
it
looked
obvious.
kind of familiar, and then maybe another one I'm not thinking of right at the moment.
if
But
you-
I
if
can't
you-
really tell
If
anybody
you go
else.
back and watch them after you watch the episodes, some of it becomes more obvious because Garnier talks about how he lost it on D-Day and killed a whole bunch of people, and then in that episode he loses it and kills all those people, and Winters
Oh.
has to yell at him and all that shit. Like they'll do small things like that like if you go back and watch again, you'll kind of pick up on it.
Oh, gotcha.
And yeah, they make it pretty obvious who Winters is.
Yeah. I mean, him and the actor that played him are like really almost similar. Like you
Yeah.
can tell, like the facial features, like they did a great casting for that guy.
Old man Malarkey
They
looks like a guy
tried to
from
make
Up.
them look similar. Like
He did
they
the glasses, the eyebrows. Like,
they
that's
only
why I thought,
interviewed
honestly.
redheads to play Malarkey because he was a redhead.
Right.
So like they only interviewed, like they tried to get them close.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I just thought that was an interesting thing. It's kind of stupid in reality, but it was kind of interesting. Episode 8, so this episode was shot last. So this is the last thing they did before this. When they drove away in those trucks, they were done shooting forever.
Huh.
Interesting.
Okay.
And the real Malarkey. Well, I'll tell a little bit of thing out here. The real Malarkey. The first time, like the first 5 times Grimes called him to try and talk to him about playing this role, he hung up on him. He wouldn't talk to him. And then Muck, the guy that played Muck, also called him because the real Muck obviously is dead. We saw him die. he called him because he was like, hey, I would like to talk to you about your best friend so that I can play him better. And he hung up on him, too. He never called back. But Malarkey kept at it, or Grimes kept at it, and finally started to get him to talk about small things. He's like, hey, I just want to play you correctly. Can you tell me some small things? And he's like what? And he's like, did you smoke? And he's like a fucking chimney. He's like, and so then he's like, okay, well, how did you do your hair? Like, he just started off with like real small questions just so he could like, do things. Did you grow facial hair? Did you, how did you do this? How did you do that? How'd you like to carry your gun? Like, so that he could like more or less break the ice, I guess. And finally, he's like, he would still periodically hang up on me, and I just learned if he hung up on me, that meant he was starting to get upset. And then I would call him back in a couple of days, and he would take my call, and we'd start talking again. But if he was starting to get upset, he would hang up on me again.
Okay.
And he's like, but we ended up becoming close, and like, would talk a lot, and then they went on tour together, and then he went to his funeral, and all that stuff. But anyway, that being said, Malarkey was very, very peculiar, or not peculiar, particular, sorry, about how they did things on the show, and would call and like cuss out Hanks and Spielberg.
Go Malarkey.
But
somebody has to.
But the things he would get super pissed about is if they made him do things he didn't do. He was like, you will not give me credit for things other soldiers did. He's like, you will not do that. Yeah. Like that's why
takes that stolen valor thing seriously.
And the reason I bring it up is because in this episode, they were gonna have Malarkey lead this. Well, they were doing all this shooting, and Grimes couldn't get a hold of Malarkey to see how to play it. And when he finally got a hold of him, he was like, hey, they're having me, take the men in to do this, to get the POWs, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, what? I didn't do that. And he got off the phone with Grimes and called Tom Hanks and cussed him out and chewed him out and was like, I did not fucking do that. You will not do this. Like, no, you're not giving me credit for the men that actually did that. Like, they need to credit themselves.
Yeah.
And so they pulled... Like, they'd already shot someone, so that's why they did the switch with him and Martin.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I got you.
So, yeah. And then Grimes tells you that he let Malarkey down because, it's not a big secret. In the last episode, they played a game of baseball. Well, Malarkey was there and played in the game of baseball. But he's not in the show. And Malarkey was irritated about it. He's like, why wasn't I there? And it was because Grimes missed his flight.
Oh.
And they went ahead and shot without him. And Grimes like, it was 110% my fault. Like, I just had to tell him I fucked up and missed my flight. So
at least he owned it.
Yeah. So yeah, there's my interesting facts for this episode. I don't know how interesting they were, but they were facts.
Yeah, pretty interesting.
And I don't have a ton on the guys this week, but I think number one, we really just got to talk about Webster. We did a pretty good job of avoiding bringing up a lot of stuff with him during the normal talk. Where is Webster?
Oh, I gotta get him up here.
Okay,
right there.
Oh, there he is. Yep. Just a little backstory here that they do kind of fill us in on the episode. Webster was originally there with these guys through training and everything. And then he jumps with them on D-Day and does all that fighting. And then he does Market Garden with them, and he's wounded in Market Garden. Well, he's never been back. He's been gone for 4 months. So Bastogne. That's what he missed. And they are not welcoming when he shows up here.
Yeah.
So let me ask the group, I guess. Do you think they're not welcoming because he's been gone, just because he's been gone for 4 months, or do you think they're not welcoming because they're comparing him to Popeye and Garnier and Toy and Buck and all the guys that also got wounded and came back in a few days?
I think it's the matter of it is the comparison, but like I said, it wasn't a wound that you could have escaped. Everybody else found a way.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, what was his wound again? Webster's?
I was hit either with a mortar or artillery, I think, in Crossroads.
yeah.
It was like they got me.
What's his first name?
I can't believe they said they got me. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
that time and everything.
David.
Like, yeah, I can't remember because in that shot, the guy that's holding him is like you only see him from like the chest up, and he's like, "Can you believe it?" Like, but it looked like it was something around like some type of leg wound.
Oh, he
or
got shot in the
something.
leg. Yeah, remember because he goes, "They got me, they got me."
That's what
Can you
we-
believe
yeah.
I said that?
That's what we were just saying. Yeah.
Yeah, he
like,
got shot to his calf.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, shot to his calf.
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't know how getting shot in the calf. I don't know how that goes, but
Well, I mean, I'm not saying it is nothing. I obviously not. I've never been shot. Don't want to be. I just.
Right.
But at the same time, it's not any worse than any of these other guys. I mean, we
Yeah.
got 3 guys that got shot in the ass, and they all came back
Yeah.
relatively quickly. We got
There are people have been hitting. Like I said, they went out. Everybody except for
Yeah.
Malarkey and another guy has an injury here.
yeah,
You know that?
Toy got shot through the arm. Bull took the shrapnel in the back. Well, what's his name took shrapnel on the neck. Was it Liebgott? Yeah, Liebgott took shrapnel on the neck. Anyway, those guys all did it and came back with it. Like nobody was gone more than like a week.
Well, that's what makes me say it was a bit of it both, to where it's like, hey, like yeah, you got injured, you went back, but it wasn't like a big enough that you couldn't have came back if you really wanted to.
yeah.
Like I think that's what they were driving home and all that.
Because he's
that's-
like, well, how do you get out of there?
well,
How did
yeah,
they
I
do
think that
that?
was the point of that whole
I
conversation.
had to do
was,
rehab and
yeah.
all this, and I'm like, yeah, okay.
So I guess here's my big thing I wanted to get into with you guys about Webster in this episode. If it wasn't for his narration, he comes off as a total fucking slimeball in this episode.
Yeah.
Because the narration is the only thing that tells you that he's trying to help these guys. Because his acting and the way he's actually doing things comes across like he's a coward who doesn't want to do anything and he's trying to screw over his teammates. That's the way he comes across the entire episode.
yeah.
That's why I said earlier I didn't feel sorry for him when Tom said he felt sorry for him. Because I was like, he comes across like a slimeball all episode.
Yeah, because there was 2 major points where he was talking to that new lieutenant and trying to get him doing whatever he was going to do, and then the second one where he's trying to get the translator thing.
Yeah, 'cause it's like,
And
we-
I'm like-
we both speak German. Like you're
Yeah,
right.
well, and you can't tell just by his dialogue if he's trying to get out of it or if he's trying to help the other guy get out of it.
Yeah.
You really, yeah.
Right. Now, I think Liebgott takes it as Webster's trying to get out because he says it in the background. He says, this motherfucker tries to get out of everything.
Yeah, I was say there. Yeah,
You know? And then, like you said, I felt like he was being, I don't know what's the right word for it. He was playing games with Jones.
Yeah.
Like, trying to talk Jones and talking Malarkey out of
Malarkey,
it and doing those things. I was like, what is the purpose here other than to maybe get in good with the lieutenant? You know what I mean? Like I was trying to figure out if he's trying to help. Is he just trying to give Malarkey the mission off? Is that the only, but nobody wants to go into battle with a lieutenant that's never done anything before.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think he definitely was. He definitely seen Malarkey was off. Like, so,
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it was a secret at that point.
So
Malarkey was
like I
off.
said, especially with fresh eyes. So it's so no, like he definitely knew that. Now the idea of putting Jones in there instead of him, like. Especially like when you were in the room when Jones got told no by Winter with Nixon present and all. So it's like several higher ups and you all seen this happen. And
It is
all.
kind of a
Yeah, so
weird
for
thing
you to float
try
him
to
out
do.
there is a weird one.
And but what ended up happening is it ended up screwing Martin over because then Martin got stuck with it and Martin was pissed and then he saw those two, making their motions back and forth and realized what was going on and then was like, oh, Webster, you're on my attack team.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
she got
like-
the call. Yeah,
Yeah.
No, I love that scene. That was a good one.
So, then I guess you could say like, oh, well, Malarkey's my sergeant, Martin's somebody else's sergeant. Like, like I'm showing loyalty to Malarkey maybe, but I was trying really hard to get into Webster's head in this to try and figure it out because he kept saying in the over voice that like he was trying to help But like I was like, you're not coming across like you're trying to help, man. You're coming across like you're trying to manipulate.
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely manipulate. I mean, like, yeah, like there's no doubt he's doing that. I think he like when he said that he's trying to justify the manipulating that he's doing.
Yeah.
But once again, like, how much are you helping? Really, like, yeah, you don't want to go under. You don't want to go under Malarkey's command just because like how like loose he may be, but at the same time, like, you know, this guy is brand new, never seen anything. Why would you float his name out there leading 15 of these guys?
Yeah.
Like that seems more dangerous than giving you Malarkey.
Well, what he said is the other 15 guys have plenty of experience.
Yeah,
Is what he said. But that means Jones would be leading the group, but then then asking them for advice,
Right, yeah.
which
Yeah.
again doesn't really work.
No,
Yeah.
like that.
You know?
That's not how the chain of command goes. Like it falls apart in that way. Like
By the way, I just wanted to say this while I had it in my head. Everyone that is alive and has not been sent home is in this episode. So obviously the dead guys are not in it, but then you have Buck and Garnier and Toy and those guys and Smokey who all been severely injured and sent home. Everybody that is not them is in this episode. But then we have Malarkey, who is also, I would say, probably one. He's not Webster, but he's one of the most seen guys in this episode.
yeah,
Here's my thing with him. They talk multiple times about him getting promoted, but we don't ever actually see it.
Yeah.
Like we see multiple people get promoted in this episode, but he's not one of them. But although we hear, I think at least 2, if not 3 different people talk about Malarkey's getting promoted.
Oh yeah.
I think that was a joke, though, wasn't it?
Well, I thought about that because when Liebgott says it, I was like, that might be a joke. And then obviously he repeats it to Jones, and Jones repeats it to Malarkey. But somebody else says it later, I thought, too. Anyway, I don't know. But yeah, it travels around the whole episode. But Malarkey also comes across maybe the most messed up in this episode.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, like we said, he lost his 2 best friends in Muck and Pinkala. And he was also close with Buck. So, like, watching those guys die, watching Toy and Garnier leave because they got their legs blown off. I mean, he seems to be the most tore up that's still there anyway.
It's interesting, though, because he seems the most torn up, but he also is carrying on, like, without complaining the way a lot of the guys are
Yes.
bitching about.
He's not openly complaining. He seems to have a very, like, flat affect.
Yeah.
Like, he's just like, yep, I'm here. I'm doing what I'm told. But
like I said, just very jaded.
yes.
Like I said, even though I was like, oh, like we had mortars coming in, I was like, like yeah, you'll have that. Yeah, it's like they're around. Like, it's just like, don't get hit by one. Like, just...
And then you have Lipton, who at the beginning of the episode has pneumonia.
Yeah. How long you had it? Long enough. Like, just like,
And I like that scene when Spears comes in. It's like, will you go to fucking bed? Like,
a room in the back. Like,
and Lipton actually does get promoted. He is no longer, what do they call it? Enlisted or
Non-commissioned.
non-commissioned? Yeah, because you're honorably discharged as something, and now you're a lieutenant or whatever is what Winter says. Because at first I was like, what? What did he just say? Because he said I had to rewind and re-listen to it because I was like, he's like, and you're honorably discharged. I was like, Lipton doesn't leave. Like, I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
But yeah, Lipton actually gets promoted, which obviously we kind of all seen coming at this point. Not that he didn't deserve it. But yeah, but Lipton's not really involved in this episode because he's sick. So you just kind of see him at the very beginning, the very end.
Yeah.
Martin plays a pretty big role because he leads the mission. He's which is weird. Like, the ranking officer is Jones, but Martin is leading the mission. And I'm like, man, that's got to be awkward. Like,
Jones gets to shadow.
well,
He still gets experience.
Observer. Yeah.
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 I mean, sometimes the enlisted is the
Once again, I think it's fair.
what's
Well,
what's the word I'm trying to think of? Advisor.
Yeah.
To the officer, because they've been in so much longer.
But then, like, I think you kind of see it a little bit when he goes to give his report to Winters and Spears, and like Jones interrupts him, and he like gives this look like, "I'll snap you in half, motherfucker." Like, but then like gets his composure back and continues with his story. But yeah, it's just be weird. And then you have Cobb. We haven't talked about Cobb in a while. But Cobb is a huge asshole to Webster and Jones in this episode. And then, but he goes a step further. I mean, Cobb's always kind of an asshole, but he's a huge asshole. But then he takes it a step further and gets plastered drunk in this episode.
Off of wine. Come on, bro.
And then, well, I don't think it would take much to get these guys drunk. At this
Well,
point.
yeah, that's true. That's very true.
it's a good year. That's all.
And he starts to get into it with Jones, but then Martin kind of sticks up for Jones. And then he like questions Martin for a second, blah, blah. Well, what I read up on this was, okay, I might have said this at the beginning. I can't remember if I told you guys on air or off air.
Was
But
it Jones or was it Webster?
No,
I
it was
thought-
Jones.
I thought he was drunkenly looking at him as like.
Well,
like,
he
what are
says
you-
something.
like,
He says
what are
something
you
to
looking at?
Webster.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah,
what
he
are you
tells
looking
Webster,
at?
"What are you looking at?" But then Jones is like, "Are you drunk, soldier?"
Oh,
And
okay.
because he's actually his commanding officer. So, and anyway, the back and forth goes there. Well, in real life, Cobb hits him
Oh.
and is dishonorably discharged.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Fair enough.
But they didn't want to put that in, so they just kind of had a little spat.
That's kind of why
moved on.
it's why it ended basically when Martin said like, "Yeah, I'm sticking up on his side."
Yeah.
I get that then.
Wonder why they want to throw in the fight.
I don't know.
Save face.
It's not like anyone's gonna be upset to see Cobb.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the
Well,
best
here's
time for that.
But here's the thing, though. They dishonorably discharge him, but they don't make him leave. So he fights all the way to the end with the rest of the men, and then is sent packing.
What the
Damn.
fuck?
Yeah,
I guess that's better than the brig.
or being shot.
Yeah.
I mean, during wartime, people do
Yeah.
shit like that. A lot of times they just shoot them.
Yeah.
Especially when Spears is your CO.
Yeah.
Go have a smoke. Just like, you're already drunk. Yeah, like, it's like yeah.
That's crazy.
And then I guess lastly we talk about Winters again.
Which he
When-
gets promoted, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Winters does get
Major.
promoted to major.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, Winters just keeps getting those promotions.
It is like, yeah, oh yeah, by the way, so and so says you're underdressed. Like
Winters is there for pretty much all of this episode, but he doesn't do anything super important till the end. He's talking to Spears, he's talking to Nixon, he's talking to Sink, but he's not really doing anything important till the end. But at the end, you can tell he's very unhappy with Sink because they want them to do the second mission.
which actually, like I said, it's just they're a victim of their own success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where it's like, hey, you're making me look really good at the end, and like everybody's already celebrating back home. Like I said, let's get a few more wins here for me. Like,
Well, and I like the way Winters words it when he goes and talks to them. He calls the guys in there to brief them, and he walks up to the end of the table and he's like, "I think you've done a great job, gentlemen. I just talked to Colonel Sink. He thinks you've done such a great job. He wants you to do it again." And like the looks on all their faces is just like, "Are you shitting me?"
except this time at 100 or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
like,
200.
Yeah.
It was like same thing, sir. Like exact same thing, except for 200. Like,
Well, I think that's what pissed off. Like Martin looks pissed because
Yeah.
Martin's like, "We're not changing the plan at all."
Think
Yeah.
they might be watching that part of the river.
yeah,
tonight?
the same hole in the fence, the same route, everything.
Yeah, and then but that's so un-Winters.
Mhm.
Winters is the tactician.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Martin's looking at him in disbelief. Like, what do you mean the exact same mission, just an hour apart? Like, what are we talking about here?
Exactly. They'll never see it coming. Like, it's the element of surprise. It's basically the Spears method. Just run. Like, just shock and awe. Like,
And then he's like, well, gentlemen, I want you all to get a great night's sleep tonight, and then report to me in the morning that you did the mission but couldn't bring anybody back. And then everybody's just staring at him in disbelief. But here's my thing. I could not pick up in the facial expressions or anything what Jones was thinking in that moment.
oh, I think Jones immediately was on his side.
Yeah,
I
because it's such
think
a dumb idea.
Yeah,
It is a dumbass
yeah,
idea,
I was like,
yeah.
after seeing all, because once again you're seeing it with fresh eyes, and like you're gonna hit the same spot twice, and he even heard like everything else. Like, I think this was a good. It was a good first time field experience for Jones, and all from like even start to finish and whatnot. Like, that's how I took this with him, because like I said, then he got to see Winters in action, like someone at that level and everything. You got to be there on the mission, like I said, you seen the clusterfuck on the boat, you seen the timing of the grenade go wrong, like you saved the POWs from getting like killed and everything. Like, wounded man still died, but it was like his own grenade.
Yeah.
I mean, and then like I said, this for him to pull it, like you see the political side, like I think this was good for Jones. This was like, I went away with this episode thinking highly of Jones.
My take on it was, at West Point they don't teach you to disobey orders and falsify reports.
Yes.
So he's just out of West Point, but like he was on the mission. So he's just getting that of how things actually work in real life versus what he spent, however many years learning.
Yeah. Well,
but I think he gets it like very quickly.
Well, at West Point, I'm pretty sure they're marching half the time and spinning rifles.
Yeah, I will say this. Of all the West Point grads or like an Ivy League grads we've seen through this, Jones does fine. He functions.
Yeah, like he's there.
He's not Dyke.
Yeah.
He's not. And so like he functions fine. He's new, so he doesn't know certain things, and he's taking all the like small little things way too seriously, like standing at attention when everybody walks in the room and all that shit.
Yeah.
But I think that is the new.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the new.
that's the new. Like that. Like I said, the bigger things that he's seen is, like I said, the subtleties, how Winters and Martin are leading and whatnot. Like there's like he's watching other people in leadership roles. Like, that's what you can tell in this episode.
So yeah, and he gets promoted at the end of this episode.
Yeah.
First lieutenant.
By the way, do you guys know who that is playing that?
I've seen him
Hanks.
before, but I can't remember the actor's name.
It's Colin Hanks, Tom Hanks' son.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at him in the face, he kind of looks like him.
Oh yeah, I guess, the ears.
I've only seen him in a
It's the
couple
ears,
things, so
really.
I didn't really register.
I never see, like, is he in anything else of note?
That I don't know. Let's look.
'Cause I was
Handful
gonna
of
say, like,
things.
I honestly, like, I knew Tom Hanks had a son, but I didn't know who his son was. Like, and like I said, now that you say it, like, yeah, I can only kind of see it and imagine, because like I'm just picturing like Tom Hanks on a shrimp boat with the big ass ears, and then side by side with him, like, yeah, you can't mistake those. Those are genetic. Like, that's like, you got that honest.
I mean,
Did you say on a shrimp boat?
Yeah.
I don't really know any of these. I mean, he's got a list of things he's been in, but I don't really know
So
much.
the answer is no.
But by the way, just a funny story. Obviously, Tom Hanks is running this, and he cast his son in this role. It's the only episode he appears in, so like it's not like it's all the episodes, just one episode. But well, there was like a very, very severe hazing process for replacements, because the original guys had to go through boot camp and the replacement guys didn't. So they were like pissed. So they took it out on the replacement actors,
Oh.
like James McAvoy and those guys. They're like, dude, we were so mean to them. It was ridiculous. Like, he's like, and
What, a bunch of theater people that were catty toward each other? Color me shocked.
He was in Cats?
Yeah, like,
and so But they were all nervous about it
Mhm.
when Colin Hanks came on because they're like, "Can we do this to Tom Hanks' kid?"
Can I haze the boss's son?
Yeah,
Like,
exact-
that's like-
exactly.
How many opportunities are you gonna have?
Yeah.
But they said that like not Tom, but Colin told them like just treat me like everybody else. So they started the hazing process, and they said nobody ever said a word to us. Like then after a couple days, we just hazed the fuck out of him like everybody else.
Good.
Beat you with a box of chocolates. Like, just like...
Anyway, well, does anybody else have anything to talk about real quick before we move on?
I don't think so.
Nah, I covered everything I really wanted to.
Yeah.
Like,
All right. Well, we appreciate you tuning in to episode 8.
Mhm.
We would appreciate you tuning in next week for episode 9, Why We Fight. And thanks for tuning in to Blockbuster Bums.